January 29, 2013. The time is now 1:30 p.m. I would like to remind everyone to please turn off your cell phones or else set your phones to vibrate. And the council will please come to order for its special meeting. And again, I want to thank everybody for taking time from their busy schedule to attend our meeting today, particularly in view of the weather situation. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And Ms. Garrett, would you please conduct the roll call?
Bolton? Here. Bonato?
Here.
Matei?
Here.
Miles?
Here.
Shu?
Here.
Velasquez?
Here.
Dr. Gonzalez?
Here. For the record, a quorum is present and council may proceed with business stated in its notice of meeting. The first agenda item is to consider a special events permit request by the Southern Colorado Repertory Theater located at 131 West Main Street for the following dates: February 14, 15, 16, and 17, and March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of 2013. Is there a representative from SCRT present who cares to address council? Welcome. I'm hoping you'll tell us a little bit about this special event so that we can be sure and put it on our calendar and attend.
Madam Mayor and council members, the special events permit for February and March 14th will be a Valentine's Day production of Elvis.
Oh, how cute.
March 15th, 16th, and 17th will be I Cannot Hear You When the Water's Running, which is going to be 4 one-act individual plays. March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th is a classic play, 12 Angry Men.
Oh, that would be good.
And we are seeking a special events permit in order to be able to serve alcoholic beverages prior to the play for an hour before the play and then at intermission.
Thank you. We appreciate you sharing that information with us. If everything is in order, I will entertain a motion to approve the special events permit for those dates.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Bolton, second by Mr. Shu. Any discussion or questions from council members?
Just one, as a board member, should I be voting or no?
I don't see any reason why not, Councilwoman Miles. I really don't. With a special events permit, I don't think there was any conceivable. You were looking at me, and so that's why I answered. I hope that was directed towards me. And I can think of absolutely no reason why not. And I'll just say that. So the answer to your question is yes, I believe that's fine.
Any other questions? If not, I think we're ready for the roll call.
Bolton?
Yes.
Bonato?
Yes.
Matei?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
Velasquez?
Yes.
Dr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you.
Yes.
And on February 12th,
Yes, sir.
we are having an open house for the public from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Very
And we
good.
hope you'll come and see the wonderful things that have been done to that historic building.
We're going to be on a retreat.
Oh, that's right, I forgot. Well, we'll take pictures for you.
Oh, thank you. But thank you for providing us the summary of the scheduled events. This will help us keep track of those on our calendars.
We have some great productions planned for the professional theater as well as 4 productions for the youth and junior academy and a couple of other surprises coming.
Very good.
Good luck.
Thank
You
you
can
so much.
renovate the stage.
Yes. The next agenda item is agenda item number 2, and that is to consider a special events permit request by Mount Carmel Health and Wellness Community Center at 911 Robinson Avenue for February 16, 2013. And you're here to tell us about that event, Obed.
We're hosting our first country western dinner dance. So it's going to be something different than what we've done in the past with, pardon me, a real western theme. And we hope people come in their western attire and enjoy a wonderful dinner and nice dance in the garden level of our of Mount Carmel. And we're requesting a license so we can sell adult beverages.
Very good. If everything is in order, I will entertain a motion to approve the special events permit for the date requested. Motion by Mr. Shu. Second by Ms. Velasquez. Is there any discussion or question from members of council? Seeing none, I believe we're ready for the roll call.
Bolton? Yes. Benado?
Yes.
Matei?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
Velasquez? Yes. Dr. Gonzalez?
Yes. The next agenda item is item 3, and that is to conduct an executive session for the following reason. For discussion of a personnel matter under Colorado Revised Statute 24-6-4022F, and not involving any specific employees who have requested discussion of the matter in open session, any member of this body or any elected official, the appointment of any person to fill an office of this body or of an elected official, or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to particular employees. Specifically in the posting, it was city manager finalist interview review. May I have a motion to go into executive session for the reasons stated?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Matte.
Second.
Second by Ms. Miles. Is there any discussion or question? And I think we're ready for the roll call.
Bolton? Yes. Benado?
Yes.
Matei?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
Velasquez? Yes. Dr. Gonzalez?
Yes. And for the audience's information, you may remain in council chambers, and council will excuse itself to the adjoining conference room. And I don't believe Mr. Aker is going to participate in this particular executive session, so he is excused. And Mr. Downs and our consultant, Mr. Miller, you're invited to join us in the conference room. Thank you.
No, not here. But I know that there's a lot of you guys are shuttling back.
His priorities are his family. Tough to argue with that one.
We're back on the record. The time is now 2:55. And the executive session has concluded. The participants in the executive session were Ms. Carol Bolton, Mr. Joe Donato, Mr. Anthony Mattei, Ms. Michelle Miles, Mr. Frank Shu, Ms. Linda Velasquez, Bernadette Baca-Gonzalez, Les Downs, and Mr. Ron Miller. For the record, if any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the motion to go into executive session occurred during the executive session, or that any improper action occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meetings law, I would ask that you state your concerns for the record at this time. And seeing none, the next agenda item is number 4, which is the appointment of the Trinidad City Manager. And Mr. Downs, I believe you had prepared some information for us?
Well, Madam Mayor, there are ballots, and if you don't mind my addressing you and council from here
Oh, that's
for now. There was some talk about the possibility of being a motion and a second and a vote that way. But if you would prefer to do the ballot, you'd like me to come to the lectern and address council, however you would like to accomplish this.
Is there a preference among council? I think since we have 2 individuals, that it may be appropriate just to do it by motion? Verbal, and then roll call. At this time, I will entertain a motion to identify the city manager for the city of Trinidad, Colorado.
I would make a motion for the appointment of Mr. John Thomas Aker as the Trinidad City Manager, subject to contract negotiations.
Motion by Ms. Bolton,
I'll second that motion.
second by Mr. Shu. Any questions or discussion from council? Seeing none, I believe we're ready for the roll call.
Bolton?
Yes.
Donato?
Yes.
Matei?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
Velasquez?
Yes.
Baca-Gonzalez?
Yes. Thank you. And
Thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you for quite a long time.
very good. Excuse me, I'm a little bit disorganized here. I believe that concludes all of our posted business. And that being the case, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Shu,
Second.
second by Ms. Miles. Any discussion? And there being none, we're ready for the roll call.
Bolton?
Yes.
Donato?
Yes.
Matei?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
Velasquez?
Yes.
Baca-Gonzalez?
Yes. I would like to propose that we take a 10 or 15-minute break to give everybody a chance to stretch their legs, and then we will return to convene the work session. Thank you. We're off to the record.
Another break.
All that heavy relaxing you need.
I don't know what's happy, I guess. Nothing goes the way you think it should.
I gotta grab some of that next meeting.
Congratulations.
I think everyone was shocked.
Hey, take care.
I heard your audible.
No, I think we're in my office. No, I've got it in my office. No, I've got it. You guys taught me. Take care.
Ties that you got going on. You've had it for a while, so you know what you even know.
Actually, I've got to take care of some other stuff.
Have you spoken to him?
No.
What are you doing?
Congratulations.
I should introduce you to him.
Now we're gonna make it work really hard.
I did my county department. Did you give him state program?
Yeah.
For people who are in nursing homes?
What are you gonna do with it? I'll see what he has to
I never did that.
No, I haven't got that.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today's date is January 29, 2013, and the time is now 3:10 p.m. The council will please come to order for its work session. Welcome and thank all of you for taking time from your busy schedules to attend today's work session. Before we begin, may I request that those present please turn off their cell phones or put them on vibrate. For the audio record being made, I would like to note that the following council members are present at today's work session. Ms. Bolton, Mr. Bonato, Mr. Mattei, Ms. Miles, Mr. Shu, Ms. Velasquez, and Chairperson Baca Gonzalez. Our first agenda item is agenda item number 1, petitions or communications. And we have one individual who has signed up to speak. That is Mr. Wayne Pritchard. Yes, sir. Welcome. Would you please come to the microphone, identify yourself, and we'll be happy to hear your statement.
Hi, thank you. Wayne Pritchard.
Yes, sir.
As some of you may know, my wife and I bought a building and opened a gallery down on Elm Street. Recently, AAA Colorado was in our gallery. The editor was in there for a while, and then sent a professional photographer around to our gallery and perhaps Rod and Susan's and several others. There's a good chance that Trinidad is going to be featured in an article in AAA as an artist's destination.
Excellent.
So that brings up the point of downtown cleanup. Is there a way to, I want to go back to the assessment that was made, that we all might be familiar with. One of the issues that were pointed out was that Trinidad is overwhelmed with trash, and weeds, and dirt, and buildings that don't present themselves. So if we do get an article in AAA and people come in here, I think it would be in our best interest to make an effort to clean it up. So, would the city get behind a cleanup project with city crews and volunteers before the tour season starts? Make it a citywide effort to get out and shine the place up a little bit so that we look a little better, just in case somebody pulls off the video. That's my pitch.
Thank you, Mr. Pritchard. That's an excellent suggestion, and I encourage you to have further dialogue with Mr. Aker about that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. That would be my suggestion as well, and I think it's a good idea, and we'll see what we can do with it.
Very good. Thank you again. The next agenda item is agenda item 2, and that is introduction of board and commission applicants. And I'm not sure who would be handling that particular item, whether it's you, Mr. Aker, or
I'm
whether...
looking at Miss Garrett and we'll let her handle it.
Yeah, Ms. Garrett, I'm sure, knows all of the players.
I've included in your packet a current listing of all of the boards and commission members and the vacancies that exist on them. On the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission, they have currently 2 vacancies left out of the 7 members, and if you'll recall, that board has not met in several years, and we're now at the point where we can possibly have a full complement on the board. So we have 2 applicants. The first one is Greg Calvert, and he is present.
Mr. Calvert, welcome. Thank you for volunteering to serve on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. If you'd like to, you can come forward and introduce yourself and make any comments that you feel are appropriate.
My name is Greg Calvert, and I work at Trinidad Lake State Park. As you can see, I have about over a decade of experience in the outdoor recreation business, so I think that's a pretty good fit with this board. Also, I wear another hat, which is we have a production company, and we did the 8 videos that were used to promote Trinidad this last summer. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe there was Mr. Patrick is also asked to serve on this particular committee.
Hello.
Welcome, Mr. Patrick. Thank you for expressing interest in serving on this committee. Do you have any comments for us?
Well, public service is always, you get more out of it doing it than you really put into it. But I've seen with our city planner, I've seen what happens when we have some good plans in place, which were a byproduct of some of the different things I've worked on. I worked in this plan, the existing 2007 plan and the Trails plan, and I've seen that the city planner and administration have been able to take plans like that and get grants. So as I saw this evolving, I have a soft spot in my heart for that. I know a lot of people say that the arts are what people see when they come here. There's a whole lot of people who see our parks and our recreation services, and I just want to work with that if you see fit.
Thank you. Are there any comments from members of council?
Just
Thank
that I
you very
agree with you
much.
on the parks. Pardon? Just that I agree with you on the parks.
Thank you. Ms. Garrett?
The next letter of interest we have is for the Board of Appeals. This would be a reappointment, and it's from Wayne Pritchard. He is also present. He stepped around.
Mr. Pritchard, thank you. We appreciate you re-upping for service on the Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals.
Right, thank you. And I have had a career in construction management, project management, all phases of construction, so I think I'm qualified to serve.
And you actually built my home, and it's a beautiful home, so you know your business.
Thank you, Wayne.
And I believe Mr. Sam Coker has also expressed interest in another term on the Planning and Zoning Board. Are you Mr. Coker?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Come forward and introduce yourself. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
We want to thank you for expressing interest in serving another term on the Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals.
It means everything to me. Trinidad's my pride and joy, and I just want to be a big part of this community as much as I possibly can.
Well, thank you so much. Any questions from members of council?
No, thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your civic service to us. Yes, sir.
The next board that we have some letters of interest for are the tourism board, or is the tourism board, I'm sorry. Cheryl Clark was not able to stay beyond 2:30. She
Yeah,
had
I
an
s-
appointment.
I saw that she was in the audience.
She offered to make herself present Tuesday evening.
Okay. And Mr. Scott Candlin, thank you for expressing interest in continuing on the tourism board.
I appreciate it. I've been in the tourism business for well over 30 years, hustling tourists and managing projects that will attract tourism and generate revenue for the owners and the community. I came to Trinidad to manage Cougar Canyon Resort, and so I got immediately involved in the marketing of Trinidad and its many amenities, and now at Mount Carmel I'm doing the same thing. It's exciting to see the changes. I think that the change you announced this afternoon with the new city manager is definitely a positive step in the right direction of marketing Trinidad and ultimately all the different amenities within the city. So I'm proud to be considered and hope I am found worthy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Scott.
Any questions from council? Thank you so much for expressing interest, and I'm real sorry that Ms. Clark couldn't be here, but once again, I do want to observe that she was in the audience at the beginning of the meeting. Ms. Garrett, I understand there are current vacancies on the following boards. The Library Advisory Board has one vacancy, is that correct?
That is correct.
And the Arts and Culture Advisory Commission has one vacancy. And there is also a vacancy on the Trinidad Housing Authority Board. And I understand Ms. Helen Veltri is here in the audience, and I intend to recommend her to fill that spot. So Ms. Veltri, welcome. And if you would care to address council, you may do so. Thank you for coming out in this inclement weather.
I'm Helen Veltri, and my memories of working at the Housing Authority for 25 years are very near and dear to me. And I would appreciate the privilege of being able to serve on the board to see that it continues to be near and dear to everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Veltri. Does any member of council have any questions or comments?
I do.
Yes.
On the Library Advisory Board, I noticed that there are 2 seats that expired 1/7/13. Did those parties reapply? We now have 3 vacancies.
You're reading it in military date form. It's January 7th. Oh!
January 7th, 2013. Thank you.
All those years just fly by when you're not paying attention.
I'm sorry, I don't read military.
You know what, I sent letters to both of them and haven't heard anything from them.
So technically, we've got 3 on.
Technically, we do have 3. That's
So-
your statement.
Would that be the Wayne, Rivera, Tammy, Feltager, and then the vacancy? So, okay, so we all need to get busy and recruit folks who would like to work.
And what is the status on the new librarian? Is there a new librarian? And is that possibly why this board has fallen apart?
Mr. Aker?
There is not a new librarian yet. I'm waiting and want to talk with the library staff and develop some of their ideas on what they're looking for. I thought I would look at that vacancy after we get the finance director hired, which that closes this week. We're going to go ahead and start setting interviews up. And then also, we're going to be looking for another position here soon as well. So, but I do want to take the input from the library staff. I think they've got some really good ideas. I met with them a couple of weeks ago to get things started.
Sounds like a good plan. And I also noticed on page 2-4, the Southern Colorado Economic Development District Board, that Mr. Feinberg was the appointee, and he expired December 31st of 2012.
Time has gotten away from me, can you tell?
I'm sorry.
I had to admit, when Patrick said regarding the tourism appointments that I'm really good about keeping on top of them, it was a good thing he said that because it prompted me to send out the letters. But with regard to this, the Economic Development Board, that would just be something that council would appoint. So I don't know how you want to approach that.
I'd recommend that Mr. Aker perhaps develop a recommendation for council.
I will happily do that and bring it back to you at the next.
Mr. Bernardo, do you have any recollection of the past practice in appointing someone for that spot?
Not on that, I don't, Madam Mayor, I don't.
How about you, Mr. Shu?
No, they did, council appointed.
Okay.
It's, and I think Tom could get someone.
Mr. Feinberg and I have been discussing that.
Okay,
appointment
very good.
as well.
Thank you.
Most of the appointment are the commissions and committees that I see speak to, like 4-year terms and 2-year terms and the like. Parks and Recreation just indicates that there will be 7 members. There are terminal dates for some of them, but I guess the 2 newest ones are for life. How is that handled?
You know what, I'll refer back to the ordinance. I don't remember offhand how it reads, but they're rotating terms, and these, I'll have to refer back.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, no, I take it back. I want to say it was coincident with council member terms. I'll have to look.
Okay.
I'll have to look, I just don't remember.
Thank you.
And under one additional question, are there any term limitations as to how long an individual can serve on a certain board?
I don't believe any of the ordinances address the term limit for any of the boards. And as soon as we have, well, now a full library board, I can ask someone to give a committee report, but the last person I asked to give a committee report resigned immediately after. And then Parks will be meeting soon, hopefully after the appointments are made. And so that would be thereafter.
Can I state something about that?
Oh, yes, I think you did want to talk about the tree board.
No, just
Something else?
just because you're discussing committees,
Yes, ma'am.
at the request of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee,
Yes.
they wanted you to know that they're meeting the second Tuesday of every month following the Planning Commission meetings at 6:30.
Very good, thank you. That's good information. Any questions from council? Any additional comments?
I have a comment more than a question, and I guess it's addressed to the newest applicants and in my mind to the entirety of all appointees, in that I would encourage them and myself being an appointee to the COG board to think in terms, as we do action and address the responsibilities associated with those appointments, to think in terms of what we need to do and where we need to be, rather than what we've always done.
Great suggestion.
I think looking back has a value, but it can be counterproductive if you do the same thing over and over and expect different results. Enough said.
Ms. Garrett, thank you for putting together this information. I think it might be helpful for us to have it just provided routinely at a work session, at least a couple of times a year, so that we know where we're at.
And at some point, would we want to discuss city council liaisons for each of the committees? I noticed that there are some
do
people
have it.
who have liaisons, other commissions don't.
Mr. Aker?
I've got that on the list of things to discuss at the retreat. I think that'd be a good retreat topic.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thanks for
One other
noticing
thing,
that.
I noticed economic development is not on here.
Economic development, the local.
Is that because of the liaison with Los Alamos County?
It's not truly a city of Trinidad board. So yes, they're their own entity.
However, that being said, the county administrator and myself have been invited to sit on that board. It will require them to change their bylaws, but it's something that we think will be beneficial for everyone.
Yeah, I like that idea of getting the city and the county involved on that board. Very good, that's good news. If there aren't any additional comments on that particular agenda item, we will go to the next agenda item, number 3, which is consideration of bid results for the purchase of aluminum sulfate for the City of Trinidad's water treatment plant. Mr. Fernandez, I believe, will be handling this presentation.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of council. Our administrative assistant, Linda Vigil, prepares bids for aluminum sulfate. It's a chemical used at a water treatment plant in the coagulation process. She received 2 bids. And it's our recommendation that we accept the low bid of, I believe it's $32,000 from DPC. 32,000 and change. It's a routine bid, and it's a 1-year supply, so we're ready to put it on the agenda for next week and get it approved.
Very good, thank you.
Just as a matter of information, how do either or both of these bids compare with last year's prices? Has there been a major increase?
They went up about a penny.
Oh.
But it's still $500 difference. So,
If I recall, last year it was under the $30,000 threshold, and this year it's over.
last year I think it was like 31,000. We had just went over because we've been very fortunate just to be able to purchase, but now for the past couple of years it's gone over the threshold that we have to bring it.
You grow to expect that everything's going to cost more. The question is just how much more.
Absolutely.
Okay. Mr. Fernandez, is there any difference in the quality of this aluminum sulfate, or is it strictly a commodity? Is it the same purity level?
Same purity level, same standards, absolutely. Yes. And I think the real difference is in the transportation of aluminum. That's where one.
And these are apples to apples.
Yes, absolutely.
Any additional questions from council? So the next step will be that it's on the agenda at our next regular meeting.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for your work.
The next agenda item is item 4, which is discussion of other agenda items. And Mr. Aker, is there anything you or your staff wish to share with council?
We don't have any other agenda items at this time.
Alrighty. How about members of council? Do members of council have any items for discussion or to include? Ms. Bolton?
I have 2 questions. As a matter of follow-up, were the mortuary and coroner's records returned to the City Hall?
I had sent an inquiry about that last week to, I think it was Anna, and I believe Anna may have shared that with Lewis. I haven't heard a report back. I think it's a matter that they're still looking into.
The last I had heard, and I will confirm this has been several weeks, she was still scanning the last of them. But Anna did mention that someone had inquired about it, so I will confirm that and get back to council.
And my second issue was, can we schedule an update with regard to the Opera House?
I can give you one.
Would you like one at this time? Or would you-
Oh, yes.
Now I'm prepared.
All right.
Okay.
I like this.
It's actually no different than the last time I gave you an update.
Good job.
All right, Louis.
The last time, where we are with this, it was several months ago that Bill Barnes contacted me, and he said that the insurance company was ready to put $2 million into helping the building meet code compliance. I also submitted a list of the city's itemized expenses with regard to the Opera House, of putting up the walkway and some of the other safety features that we implemented, because that's also reimbursable through the insurance company. I think if I remember correctly, it was approaching $30,000 that we had put into it. But I'm
We won't
remembering
hold
that
you
figure.
to that.
Don't hold me to
It's
that.
a
exactly.
ballpark figure then. Is there any word, or have you any idea about whether Mr. Barnes is going to proceed with some improvements on the Opera House anytime soon, or is he still working on identifying investors?
If the council would like, I could contact Mr. Barnes this week, and the next time we have either a work session or another opportunity, I can give you an update if you will.
And what the status is with regard to Mr. Larson. I think last time he was out of the country on
He was
an
in China, I believe.
extended trip.
Yes. But also part of that was that Mr. Larson wanted to stay involved with the building, and at that time they were seeking several other investors to partner with Mr. Larson on bringing the building up to code. One of the stipulations of the insurance settlement is that the building be used for the same way it was used previously. So in this case, it would be a hotel.
And just also as another update, a trash can has been placed by the Amtrak platform.
Bless you.
Yes, and it's actually,
And it will actually get empty.
it is actually placed there the day after you requested it be placed there.
Thank you so much.
And it's by the building, it's not on the platform because I believe BNSF will have some problems with it being placed on the platform.
As long as it's visible so that the visitors see it and can use it. Thank you, Louis.
Thank you.
I have two things. One is a citizen has come to me just not terribly pleased about ordinance violations, outdoor spaces, multiple cars in parking lots, and she had a number of things. I've asked her to write down what those, perhaps what the most egregious violations are, and then I'll forward that to you, Tom.
Okay, great, thank you.
And secondly, Trinidad is in line to sit on the executive committee of ARPA, and we'll need to figure out how we respond to their request. I have a call into Nan Winter. There are some issues that still need to be resolved with the second lawsuit, which talk about whether we have potential conflict of interest by being city council members or board members, and I think that will inform how we move forward with whether we participate on the executive committee and how we do so.
Anything else from council? Mr. Donato or Ms. Velasquez? And I know very soon, Mr. Aker, we will be firming up plans for the retreat. And I'm just encouraging everybody to put on your thinking caps for topics and perhaps something that's near and dear to your heart you share with Mr. Aker, and I think Mr. Aker is going to make an outreach to all council members to establish the agenda. Is that correct?
That is correct. In fact, I've got a list of, I may send out to council and ask you to think about it, but also add to that list as well, and then we'll finalize everything. So look for that yet this week.
Very good. Is there anything else? There being no other items for consideration, the work session is concluded at 3:37 p.m. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make a brief announcement. Please note that while council is now officially off the record, I caution those remaining in this room to be aware that council has no control over the media's audio and video equipment. Therefore, please do not assume that outside media equipment, including any video recorders, have been turned off. In fact, I'd request that media representatives announce when recording of audio and video has concluded. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming today. No, because it's
Yeah, I didn't do
Yeah, that's the same.
Thank you. Because I have several things. Okay, thank you.
Get some too. Get in here, oh, no. I'm not getting in there. No way.
Let's have a little input. Nice to see you.
Make sure I have
Hey, could you ditch the Bronco jacket, Councilman?
I'm trying. I put it back.
I've been trying to convince you guys that you should here. I know, I gotta just listen to me.
Better not the speaker jacket.
I know.
There's nothing there, but.
Oh, no, trust me. No, he's
all sitting there.
Because what they did is they did like executive
Get up there, Miss.
Hey guys, oh no, no, no. No, you'll post it like the Explorer or the obituaries. You knew he was gonna die soon. We just didn't know. Yeah, really.
Contract negotiations.
Yeah, down the bottom.
Don't leave, Frank. Go.
Yes, what to do is
Folks.
You can sit. You can sit down.
I know, there we go.
How does such things typically happen?
David, you're missing out.
I didn't know you guys could do this.
I just cashed it.
I forgot my gloves. All right. I promise I'm not paparazzi, I won't chase you. You don't need a restraining order. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, thank you.
Check that camera, Davey.
Huh?
Check that camera.
Take it, it's good shape still.
Okay.
He wants to get one.
Oh, that's good. Oh, for sure.
Thanks to try to call lots of I don't know.
I'm trying to take pictures of the other guy. I don't know why I'm not out there.
Be careful, call me up.
No, I girls running away.
I know, but we can
Yes,
get
we'll do it.
But I apologize.
I'm glad we got some snow.
I thought that was what I just wanted to do. That's why I was just that was so sorry.
This was for the next 2 months.
Since you're sitting right there.
All right.
I know. Perceptions that each council person had in connection with how well each of them responds to questions that were posed, discussion about their respective backgrounds and how those backgrounds could enhance and be a match for Trinidad. And basically, just that type of discussion. And host the discussion. Actually, everybody just came out, of course, you can't take a look at the closed session, but it, just from the dialogue, it was pretty evident that everybody had the same thing.
Let me see what I can find out, and I will consider myself.
Okay, now that he's done, we need to have the
You too.
work session retreat where we identify the projects, the tasks that we believe need priority to be addressed as priority items. And absolutely, he's got to move forward with hiring the finance director
And then the SCRT is louder.
Stuff is, so I guess we're not,
Issues they're facing.
I can't, but it says, I can't see it because I'm here.
But he's got his ordinance from council. My phone.
You want to announce anything? Yeah.
I didn't wear